Fox News Podcasts presents the Bret Baier Podcast, Common Ground.
There are a number of senators on the Republican side that continue to want to find common ground.
We emphasize the conflict and controversy sells, and I think that's a problem because most Americans look at Washington and see something that's broken.
Why don't we look for ways that we celebrate what this country is capable of doing?
It's amazing what you can do when you get off social media and you start talking and communicating with one another because there is common ground.
With Fox News chief political anchor Bret Baier.
I will cut taxes for families, small businesses, and workers, including restoring the SALT deduction, saving thousands of dollars for residents of New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and other high-cost states.
People from New York, New Jersey, and California, they like that. However, that's a huge, huge impact to the budget. It's about $800 to $900 billion.
Tonight in our Common Ground segment, we address bipartisan efforts to deal with the California wildfires and also the so-called SALT deductions for taxes. Joining us are New York representatives Tom Suozzi, a Democrat, and Republican Nicole Malliotakis. Thank you both for being here. I want to talk about your discussions with the president-elect about SALT and taxes. But first, how, as both parties, you look at these fires and looking at the finance situation that you're looking at, how you deal with that. First to you, Congressman.
I think it's important for us to remember that wildfires, any disaster, doesn't discriminate against between Democrats or Republicans. And we've got to work together to try and help these people going through these desperate times. And there are disasters all over the country at different times throughout our history. Nicole and I know what we went through in New York after 9/11. We need Democrats and Republicans to hang together to help people in their most desperate times.
Does it change the balance? Does it change the finance thinking as you head into this, looking to cut things, and you've got this massive disaster in California?
I think we always need to recognize that something tragic can happen. It happened after September 11th, it happened after Hurricane Sandy, and now you're seeing this devastation that's just awful in California. And we need to recognize that, when there is a national emergency, when there is a natural disaster or a man-made disaster, we need to do our obligation to help our fellow Americans. And that goes back to where our priorities are. Why are we sending so much money overseas or to international organizations when you see devastated Americans right here at home that need our help and support? So I think that is definitely part of this conversation and how we prioritize to protect American citizens first.
All right, SALT is the state and local tax deduction permits. Taxpayers who itemize when they file federal taxes to deduct certain taxes paid to state and local governments. It capped at $10,000 per year, consisting of property taxes plus state income or sales taxes, but not both. Basically, you all said that was really detrimental in a place like New York. When you're talking to the president-elect, how did that go, Congressman?
Well, I wasn't invited to the meeting at Mar-a-Lago, but I would go any time to talk about this important issue because it affects New Yorkers so dramatically. We have high state and local taxes in New York, and we relied on the state and local tax deduction for 100 years. The first deduction in the entire federal tax code was for the state and local taxes because governors and mayors said, we don't want you to raise federal taxes because then we can't raise them at the local level. So we relied on it for 100 years, and then in 2017 it was capped at $10,000. President Trump has said he wants to get it back. We'll take him at his word. And my colleagues, like Nicole Malliotakis, have been working hard to hold her party's feet to the fire to say, we need it back.
And where did it stand?
So we had a very productive meeting, a successful meeting. The president does support our efforts to raise that deduction. He understands the impact that our mayors and governors who just keep treating taxpayers like ATM machines are having on our residents, and he wants to provide that relief from the federal level. I think what we need to do is come up with the right number that will protect middle-class families, so this is targeted. It will not be a complete lifting of the cap altogether. I don't think there's an appetite within Congress or the American taxpayer to provide relief for the ultra wealthy. What we're really trying to do is find that balance where we can provide this relief for our middle class residents who are truly struggling, because New York City won't put a property tax cap like other municipalities in the state, because our governor and mayor won't cut personal income tax rates like our President Trump did on the federal level. But it also has to fit with the other pieces. President Trump doubled the standard deduction, the child tax credit, he lowered the income tax rate across the board, and he eliminated the alternative minimum tax, which previously crushed New Yorkers. in the middle class. We cannot allow that piece to come back. So we got to find that number that works.
It's complicated, though. I mean, it's like three-dimensional chess when you're dealing with tax policy. And, you know, there's going to be this effort, whether it's one bill or two bills. Congressman, you wrote this opinion piece. Let's try something different in how we deal with Trump. I know my party will be tempted to hold fast against Mr. Trump at every turn, uniting against these bills, blocking his nominees. That would be a mistake, you write. You think it's a different time now?
I think that this election has told us very clearly people are sick and tired of everybody just attacking each other. They want us to work together to actually solve the problems in their lives. SALT is an example for us in New York and other high-tax states, but so is the border is an issue we have to try and find common ground on. Trying to make people's lives more affordable is something we need to work together on. So whenever we can, we've got to work together. I'm a Democrat. I'm going to fight back when I think something's wrong. When President Trump was in office before, I didn't want him to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. I didn't want him to deport the Dreamers. But I want to work together with President Trump and with my Republican colleagues whenever I can.
We'll hear more after this.
You saw the message was sent, not only to Republicans, but to you.
Yeah, the message is, in my district, President Trump won by 19,000 votes. I won by 11,000 votes, which means 20,000 people had to have voted for Donald Trump and Tom Suozzi together. They want us to work. I don't think it was a mandate for one-party rule, but it's a mandate to address the border, address the economy, address inflation, work together to get things done for the people, stop with the finger pointing and the attacking.
Isn't it going to take a long time to put all this together?
It will, but I think that it's important that we focus on one reconciliation. The last time you had two reconciliation packages was 1997, and Newt Gingrich was the speaker, and you had a massive majority. Even with the initial TCJ, the Tax Cut and Jobs Act of 2017, you had 13 Republicans vote against it. We don't have that luxury. We have a majority of one. And we hope people like Tom will come across and support the final package, and we think we can put together a good product.
Democrats are usually better at getting everybody singing from the same sheet of music.
Because they're okay with larger package omnibuses. We're very we like to be very specific, and we like to read the bills too, by the way.
This could be a great opportunity for Democrats and Republicans to work together because we have such narrow majorities. There's going to be a big fight in the Republican Party over this tax bill. The only way we're going to get something done, I think, is either they can do my way or the highway and they get it done, or we work together across party lines to try and find common ground.
Well, you're both welcome back to Common Ground anytime. We appreciate you coming.
Great to be with you.
Thank you.
Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app.